Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Well, good evening, Sigma Race fans. We come at you here live tonight from Evergreen here in Monroe, Washington for the Leonard Evans 152. 152 laps here around this short track, 5/8 of a mile oval track based in Monroe, Washington. Evergreen Speedway, definitely an exciting race to watch year in, year out when we come here. ARCA is not going to disappoint for sure. So starting on the front row there, you're going to have the number 5 of Santi Messi alongside the number 96 there of Timothy Buchanan. Next row back, it's going to be Jimmy West with Marcus Shields Kelly. Caden Unji with the number 98 there of Matthew Hill. Daniel Voiles and Taylor Cording, followed by Jeremiah Pate and Lenora Hathaway. Mid-pack starts here for Montana Holyfield and Philip Manning. Alex Prime and Hank Scorpio. Jonathan Sheridan and Chasey Plays. Derek Hipcam with Astro Atlas. Milano Grimm with Stephen Miller. Mitchell Carter and Matthew Hubert. Blake Williams and Sebastian Galloway Jr. Paul Valenzuela with Tyler McCarroll. Barry Earwall and Dale Bush. Cassie Perkins with Kyle Ottawa. Jeff Bolton with Kyle Chestnut. Followed by Sarah Robert, Miko Kunez, Mark Walker, and Wormy Wormington here tonight. Only enough room for 36 cars to start here tonight, so your 36 car field is full here today for 152 laps. Of course, Santi Messi rolls in with the pole position here today. Your points conversation, it is a combined championship kind of deal with the ARCA Alpha and ARCA Delta division. And if we take a quick glance at the ARCA championship standings, your top guy right now, Marcus Shields Kelly, with the first 6 races in the books. Tonight marks race number 7 for the Alpha division, and he's looking to add some more points to his name. Miko Kunez also in the field here tonight, along with the number 12 there, Caden Unji. Caden up into the top 10 in the overall point standings, so he's going to have, if he's going to have any luck here tonight, he's going to need to get a lot of points dialed in on Marcus Shields Kelly in the 74 machine. But it's Santi Messi with the early lead here. Santi's definitely had kind of a topsy-turvy year so far. His overall standing in the grand standings for ARCA, he is currently, man, where is he in the standings? I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom here. Santi Messi is 50th in the points, so even with 0 wins, he's, you know, having a rough ARCA campaign. He's definitely having a much stronger Bridge to Cup campaign this year, but struggling here in ARCA for sure. Santi Messi with the lead. Timothy Buchanan in second. Jimmy West in third. And then it's Caden Unji and Jeremiah Pate for your top 5. And you have Montana Holyfield here running in the top 10 as she gets around the 74 machine of Marcus Shields Kelly. With the Road Runner Looney Tunes Dodge Dart there. Timothy Buchanan with the fastest lap. He's up there towards the top of the field. Running right down on the back bumper of Santi Messi. We've got our first caution here tonight. And it's going to involve the 83 here of Steve Miller. Let's roll it back here and see the replay. 4 wide in the middle of turn 2. You've got the 39 of Sebastian Galloway Jr. in the middle there. 83's 3 wide now. Oh, Mark Walker runs into both of them. And wow, flips up and over for the 83 of Steve Miller. Let's see another angle on that one. It looks like Mark Walker just drove it in a little too hot there. Galloway gets a little bit upside down. Steve Miller goes for a full flip. Those are teammate cars there between the 39 and the 83. I want to say they're teammates. I might be wrong. Actually, I take that back. The 83 is Wilkinson Motorsports, and the 39 is Black Storm Motorsports. So they're 2 Pontiacs in the field, but 2 different teams completely. Yeah, so we've actually run most of the other series here at Evergreen already. And already off to a wild start here. Santi Messi, your leader. Timothy Buchanan in second, Jimmy West in third, Caden Unji and Jeremiah Pate are top 5. Looks like no retirements. Everyone's going to keep it rolling here tonight. Even with a little bit of damage, they're going to try to soldier on and fight for points here after getting roughed up for the first caution here tonight. The Grand Championship is going to be kind of wild here, trying to figure out, you know, who's who in the ARCA series this year. Crazy part is, as things are changing next year, this is kind of the last season of the Sigma ARCA series as we know it. We're planning on switching it up a little bit next year. I was hoping to have some more details, and I think if there's a certain individual watching here tonight, if James is watching, go ahead and say something in the comment section. Give me the notion or the affirmative if we can say much more. So otherwise, yeah, there's some details in the works right now. We're trying to figure out where to go next year with the Sigma direction of you know, the way we're going to run the series going forward here, and it's looking like we've got some pieces in place. We're working with a couple different people to make it happen next year, but I am not going to be covering ARCA racing next year, just to try and limit the load, trying to free up some more personal time. And with that, the plan is to go Bridge to Cup and Truck exclusively, kind of split between the two, and Cup, which will be what I'll be covering next year. That gives us a big, wide open window for drivers that are moving up the ladder quickly at the end of this year. If you're an active driver in the series and you're in ARCA right now, you're probably going to be in a Bridge to Cup ride next year. Those conversations are being had right now, and we're already starting to build our roster for Bridge to Cup 2027. And it's going to be filled with a lot of ARCA drivers that may have not had any experience past the ARCA level yet. And it's going to get interesting, that's for sure. We're opening up the rosters. We're going to make it so there's no longer a limit of 32 to 34 drivers in Bridge to Cup. We're going to expand it to a full-blown 45 cars wherever we can run 45 cars. So the best 45 drivers not yet to make it to Cup are going to be racing Bridge to Cup next year, and it's going to be wild. Well, we're back and rolling here for the restart, doubled up, heading into the green flag at lap 12. Here we roll. Turn 1, Santi Messi with the advantage on Timothy Buchanan, but Buchanan's going to try to haul around the outside here. Jimmy West in third, Caden Unji in fourth. And the 5 is going to close the door on Timothy Buchanan. Jimmy West now on the inside. Good grouping there with the 23 of Pate right behind him. West and Pate moving up as Buchanan drops backwards. Also moving up into the picture, your overall points leader, the 74 there of Marcus Shields Kelly. Picking him off one by one, working his way through the mess here at the front of the field. And then you also have Jonathan Sheridan and Daniel Voiles in the picture just a little bit further back for Wilkinson Motorsports. The ARCA GTO grouping there, and they're having a good showing so far, running right alongside of each other. One caution here tonight kind of set the field aside a little bit, giving us a nice, neat little restart. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful day today. It's definitely getting warmer out there. It's spring right now, summer around the corner, kind of my favorite time of the year. I don't know if it's everyone else's favorite time of the year, but the weather gets warmer, I get a little bit happier, that's for sure. And so the racing never stops during the summertime. That's the best time of the year because it's all racing all the time, basically. Yeah, I mean, at least it's not in the 30s, that's for sure. 50s are mild. I got to bake in the 85-degree heat here today at work, so that was fun. At least we have a swamp cooler in the shop so that I can stay cool. Go take a brief break and go stand in front of the cooler. Santi Messi leading all these laps right now, trying to make up for a off season. Rolling into this season, he was one of only 2 drivers with prior wins in the ARCA series. So he's got his resume behind him. Jimmy West loses some ground there. There's a wreck ahead of them, stays green. And that's going to be the 03 of Barry Earwall, spinning right across Dale Bush. Dale Bush gets into him here. 3 wide with Sarah Robert there on the outside. Barry Earwall goes for a ride, hits that inside wall. Everything stays green though. He goes on to the outside wall, spins a full 360 there, and recovers. Yeah, the walls here definitely hurt a little harder. No, like the comment section there, no safer barrier at all. Hard hit. We'll see if the car continues on or if Earwall is out for the night. Definitely going laps down. What was crazy was the fact that the 08 slowed up for that caution, it wasn't a caution. He slowed up for that wreck thinking there'd be a caution and lost all that ground to Santi Messi. So Santi Messi never lifted. He kept his foot in the throttle and drove away, expanding that lead over the 08 of Jimmy West. But we'll see. Lap traffic's probably ahead of him here, close on proximity. That Santi Messi might have to start dealing with some lap cars, and that could definitely shake things up here tonight. Jeremiah Pate up to third here in the 23 machine. Marcus Shields Kelly up to fourth with Montana Holyfield right behind him. And Caden Unji, Daniel Voiles, Jonathan Sheridan, Matthew Hill, and Timothy Buchanan. Man, what a fall from grace for Timothy Buchanan, who was up in second at one point, and he's fallen backward hard here. Blake Williams in 11th, but he's under attack right now by Derek Hipcam going for that position. Hipcam was running 12th, and now he's up to 11th, knocking Blake Williams back a spot. You got Jeff Bolton, Astro Atlas running in the top 15 here. Wormy Wormington, followed by Alex Prime, Cassie Perkins, Taylor Cording, Milano Grimm, and Kyle Chestnut. That's your top 20. We have a 36-car field out here tonight at Evergreen. Hank Scorpio's next in line with Miko Kunez, who's up there in the points but having a bad points night so far. 30 laps in, and he's all the way back to 23rd. Paul Valenzuela. Chasey plays in the Little Caesars Pizza 34 Chevrolet for KGA Racing. Kyle Ottawa, and man, how about Sebastian Galloway Jr. after getting run into, wrecked into the wall? He's soldiering on. He's picked up 9 spots since the restart here. He's going to lose a spot there, unfortunately. But definitely looks like an ARCA car going through the grinder here tonight to try and get back some points that he's lost here tonight. Sarah Robert, gets a little bit of a bump there by Dale Bush. Dale Bush is laps down here, I think. No, wait, my bad. He's on the lead lap with these lead cars here. You got Mark Walker and Dale Bush 30th and 31st. Lenora Hathaway running in 32nd. Tyler McCarroll 33rd. Steve Miller 34th. And Philip Manning with a clean car. Unfortunately, just not showing the pace here tonight. All the way back in 35th. And it was a retirement for Barry Urwall. He is out of the race here tonight, credited with 36th after getting wrecked. Well, fastest lap in the race belongs to your race leader here, Santi Messi. New second place driver. Oh, no, my bad. I thought I saw Jeremiah Pate get by Jimmy West. Not quite. Don't know how I confused those two cars. They seemingly have similar red colors to them, but the Jordan car has a distinct white pattern on the nose. Marcus Shields Kelly and Montana Holyfield having a good showing here tonight. Still 116 laps remaining. Only had one caution. Was 6 laps run under yellow after that first wreck of the night. Well, it's kind of neat. The history of this track goes way back with our Sigma Cup Series. We used to run this chassis in the Sigma Cup Series way back in the day, about 2014 to 2016, maybe 2017 might have been the last year we ran it. But these Gen 6 based cars, we actually hosted some races here at Evergreen in the Cup Series as a Gen 6 Cup car back in the day. Kind of neat to think about that now as we've progressed so much further in the history log of Sigma Racing, that you could look back in the Cup Series used to run this model, this car. So pretty cool. Definitely a full circle feel. And I think to me that's going to be the hardest part of downsizing things, is I've kind of enjoyed building what I've grown here from nothing. And when I brought it to YouTube, that's kind of where the ARCA series came about. The truck series was also all these creative ideas that I had, and people were all on board to join the series. And so it's kind of bittersweet, where I'm going to have to be cutting my streaming down significantly going forward with the newborn on the way. And I think we're going to be keeping it kind of the best of the best. Obviously, ARCA's been great. ARCA's been awesome. People have tuned in, and it's been kind of the launch point to get people up the ladder. So, and with that, obviously, you know, you don't have to stay in ARCA forever. It's obviously a stepping stone. So we're going to see a lot of movement, a lot of new names working their way up the ladder really quickly in 2027. And the Bridge to Cup series is going to be wild. If you've liked the ARCA series, the Bridge to Cup series is going to be even better, because you're going to have all the personalities, all the big names that we've been accustomed to here in ARCA. The races are going to just be a tad bit longer. Think maybe more down the lines of double the ARCA race, or maybe an ARCA race and a half. That's where we're going to be racing with Bridge to Cup. And the model obviously goes from Gen 6, these Gen 6 cars, up to the next Gen Cup car. So for those of you that do your own paint schemes and you're watching here tonight, just know next year you're probably going to be up in the Bridge to Cup series and start thinking about tinkering, making some paint schemes to adjust to the new growth for 2027. And to me, it'll be a lot less of a workload having only 2 nights of streaming, whereas I've been doing 4 nights right now, on even wilder weeks, sometimes 5. And so bringing it down to 2 kind of brings me back to the basics, to where I was when I started this on YouTube back in 2022. So, and it's going to be just as good. We've got the excitement, we've got the people tuned in. We're going to keep it fun, fast, and frantic. Well, we are about 1/3 of the way here tonight, and it's been the Santi Messi show up front. We've been accustomed to him doing really good in Bridge to Cup this year, one of the unique double dippers, I guess you could say. Santi Messi in Bridge to Cup. Let's go look at his standings there. I forget where he sits in the Bridge to Cup standings. Obviously 50th here in ARCA, so not a great season by any means for Santi Messi. But in Bridge to Cup currently sits 7th in the points. 0 wins, but he's had 6 top 5s and 7 top 10s. The ARCA race, winning an ARCA race is still pretty awesome no matter what. Race lengths are a little bit shorter. The fields are a little bit more specced out, so it's not like you have an advantage over anyone. It's a true racer's race, where the best racer will usually win on any given day. No cars have an unfair advantage. You're kind of, you know, out there on your own, kind of like racing go-karts, almost like Mario Kart for that matter. And so some days you're just in the right spot at the right time, and other days you're getting the turtle shell thrown at you and knocked out of the lead kind of deal. And that's the ARCA way. I mean, we've had so many ARCA-esque break moments, ARCA wrecks, ARCA shenanigans. It's really been kind of the prime reasoning behind this ARCA series is to try and capture that feeling that the real ARCA series delivers so well. And I'm going to be excited once we get through 2026 here. It'll be kind of like it'll be an honorific, kind of a badge of achievement that I've been able to stream every race that's been run this year. I mean, we haven't even had to skip a race yet because, you know, knock on wood, the internet's worked well. The game hasn't been crash heavy lately. Last year it was pretty crash heavy, and I had to cancel some races, postpone, delay, or just run it minus the broadcast on a couple occasions. But this year we've made it. Let's see, we're about halfway through the entire race season here with Sigma Racing, and I have not had to once cancel, delay, or anything like that. So it'll be nice to have that little, you know, badge of honor, something I can kind of hang my hat on at the end of the year, say I did it, you know. And that's the fun part of it. Man, Santi Messi is laying it down here tonight. I'm surprised he hasn't caught any lap traffic yet with 95 laps to go here. Let's jump ahead and see. Philip Manning, he's turning lap times in the 20.9 bracket, and your race leader also turning laps in the 20.9 bracket. So lap traffic might actually be hard to come by here tonight, surprisingly. $153 laps is the distance on a fuel run here. Something that's been kind of wacky, topsy-turvy here with the ARCA series is the fuel strategies have been bad. Drivers tend to, you know, make a pit stop with 3 laps to go, relinquishing the lead, and you know, forcing unnecessary, you know, race-changing pit stops and fails, basically. As we had one caution here tonight, that gave them a chance to slow down and save some fuel, so I can only assume they should be good to go all the way to the distance with no pit stops here tonight, but they've made me a liar before, a fool of myself, whenever they decide to pit with 3 laps to go. Of course, for Santi Messi, he's just going to be hoping that there's no more cautions to deal with here tonight with 90 laps to go. He's got the clear track ahead. He's got a nice bump behind him there to kind of protect him from losing the lead. And the Skittles machine, it's flying out there on rails. Slowly closing in on the halfway point here tonight. It'll be about lap 76, be the halfway point. And Monroe, definitely a neat track for one of my home tracks, actually. I haven't been to very many races at Monroe lately. It's a little bit more of a drive, but it is one of, I think it's safe to say, it's the only track in Washington State that's got NASCAR backing. They actually have weekly NASCAR series races there. It's your grassroots. The NASCAR weekly series is a grassroots kind of late models, hobby stock, street stock, legend cars. There's kind of a group of classes that are sanctioned by NASCAR, but they host races there weekly. Race right here in Monroe at Evergreen. Be cool if we had some more NASCAR sanctioned tracks. It's kind of a shame that we don't, but definitely Evergreen, kind of the closest thing we've got to a NASCAR racetrack here at home. Well, as we're approaching halfway, let's do a Through the Field brought to you by Skittles, your race leader here tonight, bringing the Through the Field report. Running in second, you got Jimmy West with the Budweiser Chevrolet there, just ahead of the series race points leader, Marcus Shields Kelly. Jeremiah Pate in fourth with Montana Holyfield running in fifth. Top five, pretty spread out across the field there. Caden Unji running in sixth for Reemergence Racing. And then it's Daniel Voiles for Wilkinson Motorsports there in the A&W. Matthew Hill running in eighth for Jacob Shangle Racing. Timothy Buchanan for KGA Racing. That is Finley Herwig owned team. Chevrolet top 10 runs so far. Jonathan Sheridan, also Wilkinson Motorsports. And you have Derek Hipcamp for Team BLA Racing. Good run there so far tonight. Jeff Bolton in 12th. Astor Atlas has moved up another spot into 13th. And that has dropped the 51 back a little bit further here. Blake Williams. Cassie Perkins with a good top 15 run here tonight. Milano Grimm. Taylor Courting, a race winner from Portland a little bit earlier this year. Wormy Wormington. Hank Scorpio and Kyle Chestnut running out your top 20. Then it's Alex Prime for LFG Motorsports Chevrolet. KGA Racing's with Chasey Plays. Just got word that this may be the last race for Chasey Plays here in the ARCA series. So mid-pack run for the 34 team. Sounds like Finley might be looking to try and find a replacement driver to finish out the season here in the Sigma ARCA Alpha division. Sarah Robert running in 23rd, Kyle Ottawa in 24th, and then Mitchell Carter, top 25 run here tonight. Race winner in the Truck Series, Mitchell Carter still looking for race win number one here in the ARCA series. Tyler McCarroll with a 26th at the moment. Miko Kunez and Mark Walker, followed by Paul Valenzuela in the GameStop Nintendo Switch 2 Dodge Charger there. Dodge Dart, my bad. Steve Miller in 30th. Matthew Hubert 31st. Lenora Hathaway 32nd. Sebastian Galloway Jr. 33rd. Dale Bush and sadly Philip Manning still holding up the tail end of the field here tonight. There's not a lot of drama up front for the lead as he's built up a 1 point. Well, I take that back. It seems like closing the gap just a little bit here. The 08 of Jimmy West down to 1.2 seconds. Lap times are a little bit quicker for him at the moment. Well, and if you guessed Jimmy West was fast, again, you would be correct. back-to-back laps where he was the quickest of your leaders here. He's starting to close that gap in on Santi Messi. Seems like maybe he saved his stuff up for a late run here. He closed another 0.3 in on Santi Messi. That 08 looking fast, closing the gap. Could something be going awry with Santi Messi, or has he just burned through his good stuff early on in this race here tonight, making it past halfway? Well, definitely getting tighter here for the race lead as Jimmy West closing in on Santi Messi. 2 red cars fight for the race win here today. Jeremiah Pate has fallen off as it looks like Marcus Shields Kelly up to 3rd now. Jeremiah Pate back to 4th, and Montana Holyfield running in 5th. Jimmy West has not yet won a race in Sigma competition, so here tonight fighting with a little bit more vigor, I imagine. Would like to try and secure his first ever race win. And look at that, closing the gap, and he's sliding through the turns, carrying that momentum. Is the 5 of Santi Messi going to be a sit and duck? Or is he just playing cat and mouse here with Jimmy West? West is right there now. He can see it. He can smell the lead. As enticing as it is, you know, catching the 5 is one thing. Passing him, a whole different ballpark. And on a tight, short track like this, there's never a good spot to make a pass. You almost have to make it materialize. And for the race leader, you guarantee he's going to defend as hard as he can. Be driving that thing as wide as Ryan Newman, trying to keep the lead away from 2nd place Jimmy West. I think it's been joked about before, which is harder to pass, a kidney stone or Ryan Newman, and I think the answer to that question is pretty obviously Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman was a tough guy to pass out there on the racetrack. If he had the position, you were going to have to fight tooth and nail to get it away from him. It was a shame that Ryan Newman never actually got to win championship, but definitely a Hall of Fame caliber driver down the line. That too. JHN definitely has a knack for getting in the way. Hard to pass. Joey Logano of modern era, definitely not someone to trifle with when going around him. I think he's more reckless than anything. That's what's, you know, hard to pass someone that's so reckless. Joey Logano definitely gets that aggression factor, and that helps him, you know, maintain that position. Hard to pass as well. Looks like we got some lap traffic ahead now. They are really catching up to him. This could get interesting for the race lead as they have to work their way through traffic here tonight. Santi Messi in the 21.4. These guys running in the 22-second bracket. Philip Manning gains a spot here, actually. Gets around the 7 there of Matthew Hubert. And your leaders are going to have their hands full. Yeah, back on the topic about my Ryan Newman conversation I was having there, I kind of have my motorsport shrine right above my computer here. And it's got kind of the, the most iconic schemes in my mindset. I've got the Dale Jr. Budweiser number 8, just like the one we see out here tonight with the Jimmy West paint scheme. Right above that, I've got a Jimmy Johnson statue standing right next to a 1/24th scale 2006 Jimmy Johnson diecast. And then at the very top, the Alltel Ryan Newman for Penske. I don't know why, but that paint scheme always struck a chord with me. It was one of the prettiest looking Penske schemes there for a while. And the blue, the white, the black, it all looks so pretty. Definitely one of my favorite paint schemes, if not my favorite Ryan Newman paint scheme. Just an all-out favorite paint scheme of all time, really. And then, of course, I've got a couple other motorsports details thrown in there. I also have a Donnie Schatz diecast that I got back in, I think, 2015. And that's just, oh yeah, and then a teddy bear for Dale Earnhardt Sr. that shows 7-time Winston Cup champion. It has all the years marked on the teddy bear. So kind of my motorsports shrine. Yeah, the Alltel 12. If you don't know the paint, y'all, you know the paint scheme. You know which one I'm talking about. You're the kind of the NASCAR decks guru of all our server. Mike Skinner's a cool one. That Lowe's car, I honestly sometimes look better than the Jimmy Johnson Lowe's cars. Dude, oh wow, yeah, no, the Dale Jr. 2001 All-Star Game. I love that one because it says Seattle on the hood. I've got 2 of those. I've got one that I actually built as a model kit, and one of them that's a bank version. We got a battle for the lead brewing here as I'm rambling off about diecasts. And the 08 of Jimmy West makes the attack here on Santi Messi for the race lead. Good on him. He had the momentum and he carried through with it. Santi Messi tried to defend briefly, but he falls to second here. Jimmy West on the bounce up to the lead there. So now Santi Messi on the offense after being on defense so long here tonight. 48 laps to go, and we're starting to see some folks make pit stops here. Don't know if our leaders are going to be able to make it all the way, as we know ARCA is a crapshoot when it comes to fuel mileage. That's wild. That's really cool. I think one of the neatest things back then would have been the Suzuka when NASCAR went and run at Japan. I think Mike Skinner won that race back there in Suzuka. So it's not an official race win because it was an exhibition race. But he is technically a NASCAR race winner, even though he has 0 race wins in the Cup Series. Make that make sense. So, yeah, he is winless in NASCAR Cup, but because of an exhibition race, he ended up winning 1 career race that did not count for points, but rather kind of a novelty race. I wish they'd go back to Japan and race that. That was such a cool... I wasn't alive when it happened, unfortunately, but I would be so happy to be alive for the second running or second reiteration of such event. I mean, we got Toyota in NASCAR. Why don't we have a Twin Ring Motegi or Suzuka run it again? Uh-oh, Galloway got spun out here. Let's rewind and watch the replay here. That's the 06 of Dale Busch. Dale Busch giving him the chrome horn there, spins him out on the backstretch. Gives him a good punt at the end there, and the 39 just clips the inside wall and keeps on rolling. Falls 1 lap down. Tough break for Seabass there in the 39 machine. Yeah, everyone's making a pit stop here. So your leaders, I don't think are safe. They're going to have to pit again, or they're going to have to pit, period. All in the meanwhile, Jimmy West maintaining. Whoa, and they're coming off pit road right there in front of your race leader. I don't know how Jimmy West is stretching as long as he is here. He's going to pit this time, it looks like. Staying out a little bit longer. Oh, the 48 Astro Atlas clipped the wall. We have caution on track, it looks like. Oh, man, this is going to be a nightmare for timing and scoring as the caution comes out with most of the field trapped a lap down here. True ARCA shenanigans at its finest. Wow, okay. So we're going to go ahead and pause this so that we don't lose track of too much time here. Wish it was like my iRacing broadcast where I could just click to the caution that happened instead of having to hunt, click and point. Oh, teammate on teammate crime here for KGA Racing. Chasey plays in his last ever start, takes out the 96 of Timothy Buchanan. And that's a parting gift right there. If you look at it, I mean, that's not the way you want to go out with your team. Take out one of your teammates who's actually running second when that happened. Your race leader on pit road. Just now exiting to pit road, the 08 of Jimmy West. And when the caution comes out here, see, Jimmy West is on pit road. Caution is out. He's going to end up relinquishing the lead to, as he comes across the line, third there. Oh, we got another wreck happening just ahead. Your race leader, Cassie Perkins. She inherits the lead here on the wreck that happened just in front of her. Wow. And that was your race leader at that point. Well, one thing for Cassie Perkins is she'll still have the race lead here. But Sigma officials have got their hands full trying to sort this out. What a mess. We're going to add a couple pace laps here. So I want to get everyone back on the lead lap. Unfortunately, just falls at the worst inopportune time. What we'll do for all of the drivers that are 2 laps down right now, we're going to go ahead and give them the wave around. Oh, shoot. So yes, pardon me folks as I give the wave around to get everyone back towards the lead lap here. It's just a mess on short tracks if we don't do this. Typically the game does not know what to do with lap traffic on short tracks here in NR 2003, so I am just trying to get us back and rolling for what will likely be the last restart here tonight. We haven't seen a lot of wrecks, so good chances it'll be the green flag to the finish now once we get the restart slated here. Should be. Okay, lights are still on the pace car. We're good. So your race leader is Jimmy West. Second place is Milano Grimm. Third place, Cassie Perkins. Fourth place, Timothy Buchanan. And Steve Miller with the demolition car there still in fifth. Alrighty, so everyone should be just about waved back around here. Even Sebastian Galloway Jr., who is, looks like he got his car fixed under pit stops there. Should be a wild restart. Lights go off on the pace car. We're going to get back and rolling here on lap 120 with 32 laps to go. Jimmy West maintains the race lead, and Santi Messi unfortunately choked a big lead here, falls all the way back to about 8th. So what we're going to go ahead and do for 39, we'll go ahead and give him his lap back once the green flag drops here, as he was part of a kind of a situation that was out of his control. We have deemed him as kind of the lucky dog here of sorts. Doubled up, Milano Grimm and Jimmy West will lead him to the restart. Cassie Perkins, Timothy Buchanan, next row back. We're back and rolling here tonight after our second caution slowed down the pace. Good run here from Jimmy West as he gets up, gets the advantage, closes the door on the 15 of Milano Grimm. 3 wide for about 5th place, and the 74 has to relinquish a good running spot there to pull down pit road. Some troubles for the 74, your points leader. Going to be a hard hit in the points here tonight, giving up all of that track position under green conditions right now. 3 wide again in the background there. Jeremiah Pate in the middle. Milano Grimm has to pit again. A couple drivers not sitting well at the front of the field, giving up their good run here tonight. Oh, and there's a wreck waiting to happen as Shields Kelly pulls right back out where he pitted basically, but now a lap down. Oh, the 88 clambered into the wall there. Kyle Chestnut from 4th place, he's going to fall back to 7th. Hard hit in the wall. 3 wide in the midst. Oh, they're wrecking again. No way. Sebastian Galloway Jr. goes around again here tonight. He just cannot catch a break. Tough one. As you can see, Milano Grimm pulling onto the track like a heat-seeking missile, takes out Sebastian Galloway Jr. So top 30 and then spins out. All the meanwhile, our race up front was getting pretty good there. Jimmy West was holding over Cassie Perkins. We're back under caution again here tonight. We're going to drop the pace laps down on these later restarts, as it's completely unnecessary, and we should try to get back to green ASAP here. Got to be careful taking too many laps away because the game will do some weird stuff. So we'll go ahead and wave the number 74, your lucky dog here. I think it's more entertaining to see the 39 struggle along here tonight. Hoping that he can bring it home at least in a better position than where he's at right now. It's been a weird one so far. Okay, so the lights should go off on the pace car this time. Third caution of the night. We're getting our true ARCA colors here now, as the ARCA cars cannot seem to get to the finish line here tonight. Cautions breed cautions. Jimmy West is now going to have to defend on Cassie Perkins. And well, how about that? Santi Messi back up into the picture now, up to third. So Santi Messi could be in a position to get back into the fight here. He's going to start right behind Jimmy West. We're getting a good restart. Should be one of few left in tonight's race. Both Jimmy West and Cassie Perkins looking for first ever race win. And quite a few other drivers in the top 10 there also seeking their first ever career race wins at this point. It's best to follow the rest of the field behind because it gets kind of boring in the lead. But look at all these gains and losses being made throughout the field here, even in the top half. They're running a little bit more aggression towards the end of the race, knowing that the win is on the line. Astra Atlas now works her way up into the top 5. She's got a good run going here. That 48 Ally Chevrolet, highest it's been all night. Oh, and here comes the 96 of Timothy Buchanan with an aggressive move on the inside there. Oh man, we got a freaking hacker bot joining the chat here. Time to block their butts. Report. Report. Wait, I blocked. Why isn't it blocking them? Put user in timeout forever. There we go. Stupid bots. Okay, sorry, that sidetracked me there for a little bit. We haven't had to deal with bots in a long time. Tough break here for Astra Atlas as she's fallen back to 10th. Cars kind of falling in line and falling backwards at the moment. Jonathan Sheridan up into the top 10 with an 8th place at the moment. Taylor Cording out of nowhere showing up at the end here. Montana Holyfield with a good run here, up to 6th. But your top 4, Jimmy West, Cassie Perkins, Santi Messi, and Jeremiah Pate, with Timothy Buchanan rounding out your top 5. Top 5, definitely a different cast of characters than what we're used to. Jimmy West would be securing race win number 1 in his career here tonight. Dude, what the hell? Wow. Well, luckily we're only down to 16 laps left in the race. We have to deal with bots for much longer here tonight. Couldn't have been said any better there, my man. Definitely agree with that. Colorful commentary from Sebastian Galloway Jr. Top 15 as we roll through the field here. There's your top 20, your top 25. Wow, Sebastian Galloway Jr. fighting for a top 25 right now. I don't know how or where this extra pace has come from, but at the end of the night, he may very well get up into the top 25. So the battle for 25th right there ahead of him. He could get it. Heck, even top 20 not out of the realm of possibility with some drivers maybe dropping at the end here. Astra Atlas making a move for 9th. She's going to drop Matthew Hill back a spot, moving her up into 9th place. Taylor Cording, she's falling backwards. That could be another spot up for grabs. Jonathan Sheridan in 7th. Montana Holyfield 6th. Timothy Buchanan, Jeremiah Pate, Santi Messi, Cassie Perkins, and it's Jimmy West cruising away with it at the moment. Nine laps remaining here tonight. Definitely had a little bit of everything. Had some craziness. We had a race, a lead change under race pace. Not even during a wreck or a caution. Jimmy West just flat out outrun Santi Messi here tonight and showed his muscle early. A little bit of luck, he was able to maintain his position on the track and keep that race lead away from Santi Messi. But there was a point in the race here tonight where he just, straight up, head to head, whooped him on the racetrack here with pace, speed, and aggression. Santi Messi may be the fastest car here tonight, but it's not always the fastest car that wins the race. Ooh, wow. Tough break for Derek Hipcam as he's fallen back to 34th in the race. He had a great night going up until he didn't. Marcus Shields Kelly, your points leader, all the way back to 31st. That's going to open things wide up. Meanwhile, it looks like there's still a battle brewing here. Maybe getting back into it and getting aggressive here with those that have been taking him out like a pinball here tonight. Sebastian Galloway Jr.'s got a chance. He's got to get around the two Biffle numbered cars there to get up into the top 25, and he's falling backwards actually at the moment. Doesn't look like anyone's got anything for your race leaders. Yeah, Jimmy West driving away with it. 4 laps to go. No big drama for the race win here at the end of it. Jimmy West showed his speed early on here tonight and worked his way through it to make it one of the best runs we've seen from this 08 all year. Keeping an eye on the lights on the racetrack. We will, just in case we need it, enable green-white checkers in case a caution comes out. That will extend this race if need be, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a caution as there's now 2 laps left to go. And this time by, Jimmy West will see the white flag waving in the air. 1 more lap to go. The race is official. Next flag ends it no matter what. Jimmy West rolling around for the last time here tonight. He's going to be crowned victorious for the first time ever in Sigma ARCA, taking his race win here tonight at Monroe Evergreen Raceway. Meanwhile, there's some battles brewing in the top 30. Unfortunately, Sebastian Galloway Jr. falls all the way back to 32nd there in the last couple laps. Marcus Shields Kelly up to 27. A little bit of bump and grind with the ARCA cars at the end of the race. Nothing new there. Oh, and Sebastian, for good measures, parks it underneath the 26 of Derek Hipcam. Man, when it's not your night, it's not your night. I mean, yep, ends up parked on top of the 26 of Hipcam, just for nice, neat measures at the end of the race. Gets the tow truck back to the back to the pit stalls. Funny part is the game thinks that's a caution and has added extra laps just on my ticker. It doesn't mean anything. It's better caution's kind of doing what it does anyways. But that is a wrap here tonight. That is kind of the most ARCA-esque ARCA races that we've had in a long while. Jimmy West, your race leader. Sebastian Galloway Jr. going back out for just a cruise lap here. But there's no other laps being counted right now. So, like I said, the ticker just changes in the game. It doesn't mean anything. For Sebastian Galloway Jr., he's still finishing 32nd here tonight. So we're going to have to get those points scored up over the next couple days and see what happens with that overall points lead as Marcus Shields Kelly ends up losing a lot of points here tonight. That's going to give someone else a chance to kind of peek in there for that overall points championship. It could get interesting. Between the Alpha and the Delta division, we don't really know until the Delta race next week where the races stack up, because we're basically now one race ahead of the Delta division, and when the Delta cars run next week, that points conversation evens back out. So race 13 of 27 in the books, basically halfway. Only one retirement here tonight. Barry Irwall, after getting spun mid-race here tonight. Tough break for him. Definitely not his fault. Just innocent bystander in someone else's bad call of a race here tonight. And for some folks, better nights than others. Just a bad luck spell for a couple ARCA drivers, including Sebastian Galloway Jr. and a couple other names such as Marcus Shields Kelly. Philip Manning, I don't know where his pace was. It was just not there at all tonight. Tough break for him. And Derek Hipcam, man, he had a good run going and had a top 15, top 20 car. And whatever reason, it fell way off the map here tonight. So Derek Hipcam, definitely not the best pace that he showed here at the end of the race. Okay, 13, there we go. Cool. And a first-time winner to boot with Jimmy West. Alrighty, folks, that's all for tonight. Obviously, with myself tomorrow night, I'll be covering Intensity Broadcasting. Here you see on the advertisement there, Intensity Broadcasting, brought to you by Weiss, Atlee Weiss, and their family. Runs the Intensity Broadcasting channel, and they've given me an opportunity of a lifetime to call iRacing events with them. But that'll be where I'll be at tomorrow night. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the broadcast. I'll be in the booth for a different series tomorrow night, but we'll be back to our Sigma racing on Thursday night and Friday night. So have a great night, folks. Hopefully we can catch you on the next one. If you're interested, tune in Thursday night for the Cup Series action. If not, we'll see you next week with the ARCA series again, the ARCA Delta Division. Hopefully have a great week, great weekend, and we'll see you on the flip side. This is Jakester signing out.